welcome to our latest update video briefing. It's Friday the 29th of January. A few things to just update you with whilst most of our community is working remotely at this point in time. So going to talk a little bit about our remote learning updates, our student engagement team and the opportunities that we're delighted to be able to offer our students even remotely, a little bit on communications, and finally just some feedback on our progress evenings and an update for Year 11. So firstly, in terms of our remote learning policy, along with the link for this video on parent mail, you will receive a letter from Mrs. Fraser, Deputy Head, that contains links to our updated policies and explains some of the changes that we've made this term for our policy. We're delighted that we are able to offer an increased provision which really will focus around our student engagement team and some opportunities that I'll outline in a moment or two for students whilst they're working at home. In terms of the remote learning so far this term, we are absolutely delighted with the engagement that we've seen from students across all year groups, and the quality of some of the work that has been submitted has been outstanding. If you haven't had the chance so far, I would urge you to take a look at our social media and you'll see some examples of student work as well as some feedback from members of staff about how students are working whilst at home. I'd like to thank families for the tremendous support that you are giving to students whilst they work remotely. We understand that this is challenging for everybody and we really do appreciate that support in helping students to access their lessons each day. Our remote learning policy does outline our expectations in terms of students working remotely, and it is important that they engage with all of their lessons and their form time registration every single day. Any students who don't attend a registration or a lesson, we will be following that attendance up in the usual way with our student services team, so it is important that they do attend. I would just like to remind you though that if you are experiencing any challenges with accessing any of the learning remotely, please do get in touch and we will always endeavour to try and resolve any of those issues with you. In terms of the student engagement team offer that I've already mentioned, this is made up of our student engagement and leadership leader, Mr. Gibson, our careers and enterprise lead, Miss Good, and our PSHE lead, Mrs. Close. Together, they've put together a fantastic programme in place for our students that really does focus on the many wide-ranging skills that young people will need in addition to their qualifications when they leave school. So we're delighted that even though students are working remotely, there is access to a whole range of opportunities and activities for them through this programme. Students watched a video assembly in form time this week to launch this programme with them, and they will now be able to engage with that through class charts and teams, so please do encourage that. In terms of communications, just a couple of notes really. It's essential that we've got up-to-date contact details for all students and their families, particularly at the moment if students are attending school, the few that are, it's essential that should we need to be able to contact you during the school day that we've got the correct numbers to do so. If there are any changes to your details, please update the school office in the usual way. Also, in terms of communication, particularly whilst the majority of people are working remotely at the moment, if your child does become unwell or tests positive for coronavirus, even if they aren't attending school at present, could we ask that you please do keep us updated of that so that we know we can track all of those cases within our school community and, of course, offer support where required if necessary. And then finally, just on to a bit of feedback from our recent virtual progress evenings. It was fantastic to see so many families and students engage with those opportunities online, and it was wonderful to have the chance to speak with families, particularly for the Year 11 subject teachers on their progress evening to meet with so many families with students. And with regards to Year 11, it's really just an update to keep you informed of what's happening in terms of qualifications for this year group. The government and Ofqual are currently undertaking a national consultation about the processes that will be used this summer for awarding the GCSE grades now that the usual exams have been cancelled. Once the outcomes of those are shared with schools, we will of course update students and families as to how that process will take place this year. However, what I would say is that it is more vital than ever that our Year 11 students remain fully engaged in their learning, both at home and when they return to school, so that we can make sure that we have got the best possible evidence available to us for every student in the awarding of grades process later this year. So just to recap, please do refer to the updated remote learning policy that will be sent through a letter with a link along with this video. Encourage your children at home to engage with the student engagement team activities that are now being provided as part of that broader curriculum offer. Please make sure you update us on contact details and keep us informed of any illnesses or positive COVID cases, even when students aren't in school. And of course, finally, Year 11, please maintain the fantastic engagement we've seen so far. Really endeavour to keep your studies going, and we will update you as soon as we are able to about the process for your GCSE awards this year. We very much hope that you and your families are staying safe and well in these challenging times. And please, if you need anything, do get in touch.